If we've not prepared, neither can we be promoted. Hi, this is Barry Phillips with 10-Minute Torah, day number 2 of Torah portion Mikketz. Let's go to Bereshit, or Genesis chapter number 41, and let's begin reading with verse number 8 and then drop down to verse 14. And it came to be in the morning that Pharaoh's spirit was moved, and he sent and called for all the magicians of Mitzrayim and all of its wise men. And Pharaoh related to them his dreams, but there was no one who could interpret them for Pharaoh. After being informed about Joseph, this Hebrew dream interpreter in the prison, verse 14 says, Then Pharaoh sent and called Joseph, and they hurriedly brought him out of the dungeon, and he shaved and changed his garments and came to Pharaoh. Interesting series of events here. Let's understand that one has to be prepared to be promoted. One that has not put in time and effort and practice and prayer, that has not studied to show themselves approved, but is nonetheless promoted anyway, is oftentimes ill-prepared and ill-equipped to handle whatever the promotion entails. It is the American way, it would seem, to continually promote someone who is successful until they are promoted one step beyond their capabilities. And if they do not learn new capabilities in this new position, then they quickly fall right back down the ladder that they have climbed. Joseph had been prepared for a long number of years. He had endured. He had persevered. He had been tried and tested. He had been refined. He had been matured inwardly and outwardly. And now he was ready. The interesting thing is, he woke up one morning believing perhaps that his normal daily routine would be the same as it had been, only to be suddenly brought out of prison cells, washed, shaved, changed in his garments. He is promoted to viceroy of all Mitzrayim. He's literally the prime minister under Pharaoh, and he gets married and receives a wife the same day. That morning he woke up sleeping probably on the floor of a prison dungeon cell, and that night he went to bed and in a bed in the palace. What an amazing turn of events in less than 24 hours. So Pharaoh could not interpret his dreams. Those that were wise and understanding among him had no idea what was going on. Yah always has a Joseph standing in the ranks around us. There is someone available, someone who is paid the price and prepared themselves and are ready to be suddenly promoted. Pharaoh knew nothing of Joseph, but Yah did. It's not so much the importance of who do leaders know, but who does Yah know? Now, in the current political environment here in the United States, there is so much going on, and there are skilled people who have the ability to stand before judges and argue points, and they're trying to, in their estimation, correct the election. There's so much that has been revealed in the way of fraud, so much that is just blatantly not right. Now, whether those things corrected is enough to change any results is not something that's in our hands. But let's understand this. It's not wisdom, or let me rephrase that. It's not skill that someone needs, but it's wisdom. If we go over in continuing in this chapter, in verse 33, Joseph, after hearing the dreams and interpreting the dreams, and as prophesied by these dreams that there is coming a time of famine, He advises Pharaoh, he says, look for a discerning and wise man and set him over the land of Mitzrayim so that he can be an overseer to prepare for the coming famine. In verses 38 and 39, Pharaoh said to his servants, can we find another like him, like Joseph, a man in whom is the spirit of Elohim? Then Pharaoh said to Joseph, since Elohim has shown you all this, there is no one as discerning and as wise as you. Now here are a couple of interesting things. Let's follow this through. Number one, when Joseph was summoned to Pharaoh, he had to go through a process, a sudden process. He would have been bathed, immersed in water. He was shaved, and his garments were changed. This is a priestly preparation routine. And so a mikvah, an immersion in water, is a change of status. His status is being changed from a prisoner to a man of power. When you and I are immersed in water in the name of Messiah Yeshua, we're going from one outside the covenant to one inside the covenant. We're going from Goyim to Hebrew, to Am Yisrael. When a woman has completed her monthly flows, she immerses in water and she's changed in her status from unclean to clean. So he went through a change of status. His garments are changed. This is reminiscent then of the high priest who had his garments changed, or one of the Kohanim that goes from a common garb to that which is set apart for his purpose. If you and I are desirous to be promoted, then there needs to be a change of our status from being common, ordinary people to being those that are select of Yah, our Most High Elohim, and who are prepared and set apart for his service. It's not that Yah can't use the common. He's used common men in many occasions. But when it comes to times of significance, seasons of significance, he is looking for those that have set themselves apart to it. Joseph was such a person. It's interesting that he is 30 years of age. A Levitical priest enters into his priesthood as far as activity goes. His training's over, and now he is assuming the role at the age of 30. Again, what Pharaoh said is, we can find no one as discerning, as wise as you, a man in whom is the Ruach of Elohim, the Spirit of Yah. Let us not, secondly, mistake skill for wisdom. Having the ability to stand before a judge or a panel of judges and argue a point with eloquence and a factual ability is one thing. That's a skill. But it's not just skill that we need. We need wisdom and we need discernment. We need people, men and women, who are filled with the Spirit of Elohim to address the court in the heavenlies, Yah's throne, who is the righteous judge, who will always give forth a righteous decree. Human judges can only go so far, but Yah is master of masters. He is the only one true Elohim, and besides him there are no other. And Yah has said, come to me. We need to be prepared. Set yourself apart. Change your garments. Change your heart, your mind, your attitudes. Let's get over being bitter and angry. Bitterness will keep us in a prison cell. But by belief, by wisdom, by discerning, by operating and praying by the Ruach of Yah, the Spirit of the Most High, we can approach the judge of all of the earth, who will render to us a decree based on the truth, and not upon the shenanigans of men. My friend, it's time to pray. It's time to seek the Most High. Be a Joseph. Rise up and be ready to be promoted. We'll talk again tomorrow. And until then, shalom.